Yo, what's good everybody? In today's video, I'm going to be showing you some live trades as well as the thought process that I go through before buying into a coin, getting out of coins, looking for coins. And for this video, we're going to be doing this on BNB. And of course, the platform I'm going to be using is going to be Viper. So if you guys are not already signed up to Viper, I highly recommend it. I know a lot of people have been using GMGN. So the best platforms I would recommend are definitely Viper. I think Padre is really good, right? So it's still in beta testing mode. So Viper is amazing because you can trade on BNB as well as on Solana, right? So for this video, we're going to be basically trading on BNB. Now, the time that I was trading this, it was around 2 p.m. So it was like really early in the morning for US time, right? And let me think, what would that be Asia time? I can't remember what that would be Asia time, but you have to, if like the peak hours are obviously going to be when, you know, the market's most active, right? So for BNB, that's going to be usually Asia session. So if you can kind of time your trading sessions during like Asia session, right? Usually there's going to be more volume and there's going to be, I mean, sometimes better coins, right? You know, you can never really predict when good coins come out. They just come out, right? If it's a good tweet or something, then it's going to be sending no matter what, right? But volume is super, super important. You can see the volume's a little bit slower currently for like when I was trading. And yeah, you have to take this into account when you're trading. So, which means being more patient, right? I think one thing too that I've noticed with myself with trading on BNB recently is I'm kind of like, I get very GD, right? So I sell earlier than I should. Just because like, I mean, that's also built into my trading style, right? So like scalping, getting in and out of coins really quickly. But that's just something to know, right? So this is about an hour of footage of just me trading. So this is basically going to be uncut. I'm going to cut down or maybe speed up some parts that are just boring, right? But if you could even look from the beginning of the video to the end of the video, just look at the time. I believe this was about an hour trading session, and you'll be able to see what we made at the end of it, right? Now, I wanted to keep this as realistic as possible. So we started with, I believe, 0.16. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll have to rewind to the beginning. So it was around, I want to say $300 or something. Or no, maybe it was less. But yeah, maybe it was less than that. Maybe it was like $200, $150. But you can see this coin's, you know, finally starting to cook up a little bit. And, you know, we're not up a crazy amount, right? So yes, we're up a decent amount. We're up like 20%. So we just took that sell. I could have sold, like, you know, it would have been nice to sell the Pico top. But we also have a little bit of Solana in this account. So basically this is kind of like just, you know, I kind of wanted just to prove to myself that, yeah, you can still do it with a tiny port. Because obviously, yeah, like if you know, your cupsy, you're trading with like 1 BNB, 2 BNB, whatever. But most people don't have like 2 BNB, 3 BNB, 4 BNB to start with. Yes, Solana is different. Like one Solana is like $200, but you know, BNB is a lot more than that. So that's like one thing. So I feel like you know, like realistically, most people are going to be trading with like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 BNB, or maybe even a little bit less, right? So basically with this, I'm just kind of showing you guys that you know, you can do it with even with a small port. The only thing I've noticed, right, is with Solana, maybe it's me, but you know, you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I feel like it's a little bit quicker, at least like transaction speeds, even when I do up the fees, right? So I think normally you can get away with like 30 cents, 40 cents in fees with BNB, right? But it's still kind of slow, right? Which can be kind of nice because sometimes you'll get like top filled, you know, which is like delayed or something. But also another scary thing is like when people nuke the chart, you know, like when people clip out like 2 SOL, 3 SOL out of the chart, when people clip out like 1, 2, 3 BNB, it absolutely like destroys the chart. Like you could see some of the candles that were going down, but I mean, it also goes the other way around, right? So we can see, I think looks like my average entry got glitched out, but I believe it was like 30. Yeah, just refresh. 38, so 33. So we're up a tiny bit on this, but I think, yeah, like you just have to be patient, right? And on some of these I did round trip. So like, that's just one thing to note is you know, you have to just know like when to cut your losses. With a lot of these, you're kind of just, you know, you're kind of just, I guess, riding the momentum. So someone bought in with one BNB, as you can see. So I just clipped out right there, easy 37 bucks, which isn't like a crazy amount, right? I'm gonna be so for real. It's not a crazy amount, but it's like trying to stack the small wins. And yeah, like this was the recent coin that I traded. So it was on a really nice dip, at least what I thought, right? You have to really be careful with some of these coins, because you might think it's on a good dip and then people just start clipping out like crazy. You know, like, as I'm sure you guys will see in just a second. So it's around 234. And the reason I'm doing a voiceover, I was gonna do like a normal, I was gonna just do it just like me, like literally trading live and just talking, but I don't know, it's kind of weird, like just sitting quiet for like, you know, I guess I DCA'd into this as well. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting quiet for like an hour or like 20 minutes just waiting for something, and then starting to talk again. I don't know. I think the voiceover is going to be the best. You guys let me know about that. So let's see. I'm just trying to remember. Oh yeah, this one I DCA'd a little bit too much, but you could see those candles get pretty nasty looking. You know, especially just like people can really nuke the chart when people have like 3, 4, 5 BNB in the coin. It can really just nuke the chart pretty bad. So it's very important to check holders. Basically do all the normal checks. And the only thing I was kind of stressed out about this is it was like looking really weak, right? After it dipped, it went from, it's already at 210 right now to 199. It wicked down. So this was looking really bad, right? It went from like 380K. So my thesis was like, oh, okay, it's probably just on a little bit of a correction. So I was just going to try to scalp it, right? And you can see it just gets turbo nuked, right? So one thing that's super important is to, like, first of all, know when to cut your losses. That's what I would say. And then I'm looking at this other trade, or this other coin that I was in, just looking if it's, you know, a decent entry. But during this time I was trading, there wasn't really anything crazy. So I didn't have many options. I just kind of was just, you know, seeing what was running a little bit and just trying to get some scalps. But basically it's almost back up to my entry, right? So we're not really down too much. I guess I could have taken break even. We'll see what I did again. But yeah, like you have to, I feel like one of the most important things is like understanding your own self. That was a crazy wick. You have to be careful with the meds. Always use med protection. Doesn't matter whether it's on Sol or BNB. Also, if you guys would feel free to like let me know if you'd like me to do a Sol trenching video. I just know, like, you know, BNB's been getting a lot of motion lately, so we've been trading on there. A lot of people have been trading on there. And I kind of do like it, right? There's just some things, I don't know. I mean, obviously, like Solana feels like home to me, of course. But yeah, these mevs are absolutely insane. But also just the transactions are just, you know what I'm saying? Like I like the instant feeling of the Solana transactions. Like, yes, you can kind of get that instant feeling, but you have to pay like a lot in fees. But yeah, it's nice when you're trying out these like small challenges, because if there's anybody out there that says you can't do it with, like, you know, you can't do it with 0.1 Sol or 0.5 Sol or 0.1 BNB. This is like, this whole video, you know, obviously I would suggest watching till the end, because yeah, like I don't believe every trade I took in this session was a win. So you have to, you know, obviously see through the losses and see through the wins, but you can do it with a small port, right? So this was like only $200, and you know, you'll see what I'm able to run it up to. And yes, like if I'm scalping with like 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 BNB, you're going to be able to make a lot more. But you have to look at it as multiples, right? Like by the time I like run this up to like 0.5 or 1 BNB or 2 BNB, I'm going to start being able to scalp like, you know, 0.4 BNB, 0.5 BNB per trade. Obviously, don't full port your whole entire portfolio into a trade. I would never suggest that. But and then you could see here, I was kind of messing, trying to figure out the limit order thing. Is kind of confusing. I don't know. I was just kind of messing around with everything, just being like, maybe I could move this to break even. I don't know, kind of just sitting and waiting. I'm sure you guys notice this is way, way, way different than like trading on Solana. It is so much more like PvP on there. I mean, it's still PvP on here, of course, but I feel like, I mean, you can just see by it, it's like a lot more slower moving. you sometimes just have to let it play out a little bit. I believe I actually did decent, or I'm just trying to remember. I think I did decent on this trade, because I think I took like within this session I took like 4 or 5 trades, but I'm pretty sure we made it out alive. One of the last trades I'm pretty sure I didn't do too well, but it's all about consistency, right? So if you're able to get, you know, maybe not. Oh, maybe did I sell? Okay, it looks like I sold for a small loss, $30 loss. So we got 0.2 in the balance right now. So nothing too crazy, but I mean, obviously we just cut our losses there. I thought maybe I'm thinking about a different coin, but the cool thing with Viper is you're able to see like what groups called out the coin. So I believe that's Prosperity. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can see if like Potion called the group, or any of these other groups. I think it's a really, really good thing to know, because, you know, it's just most people have to pay for stuff like that or pay for these groups. So you can kind of know like, oh, when they're calling it, and, you know, perhaps maybe get in earlier or use that as like an exit signal. There's so many different ways, right? But yeah, so another thing too, like to note with BNB, in my opinion, I don't know. I feel like, I mean, it's a big chain, right? So before we had a BNB meta, it wasn't really, I mean, like it lasted for like 2 months, and then I don't know, like not many people were trading on BNB anymore. I feel like BNB is going to last a little bit longer, but I think there's more of a bigger thing that's going on, which is just the trenches have gotten very, very, I mean, I don't know, like fried, just cooked, right? Just because like mass extraction. You have these big KOLs that just farm all day, right? Like they just farm their copy traders all day. They multi-wallet on new pairs. Like basically, like I try to, okay, that looked like a nice dip. So I'm pretty sure I did bid this. Let's see. Yeah, I bought it. And you can see it took around like 1.5 seconds. So we did get a good buy, right? It wasn't the perfect bottom, but we got a decent buy. So we're up like 26. And I just want to get one nice candle. That's like what I'm looking for, right? With these scalps, just one juicy Drake candle to the upside, basically. So you kind of just have to be patient a little bit. You just have to be careful, right? Because if someone clips out like 1 BNB here, 2 BNB, it can just completely destroy that like up. You see right there, that was a 1 BNB clip, which can really mess up the chart. Which can cause you to round trip too, right? So you have to be kind of aware of stuff like that. And it looks like I'm just round tripping this, right? Like the round trip of hell. But let's see. Yeah, so it's just dumping. I can't remember if I DCA'd another time on this. But like this is the thing, like obviously, you know, you can't know exactly where it's gonna go next, but I don't know. I just felt like it was gonna have a little bit more of a, I guess, bump or pump, I guess, before just getting like turbo nuke like that. But that's like the one thing that I've noticed on BNB. It's like 1 BNB. Like I don't think we realized like what 1 BNB is. So I basically just sold for break even on this trade. Nothing special. I think I may have bidded this coin again. And I think I made money this time. Or at least broke even from where it was. But I'm pretty sure we can actually fast forward this part. And yeah, let me fast forward this. All right, here we go. So yeah, basically we bought the bottom, or not the perfect bottom, but there was like a little bit of a pump. I wish I got the Pico top up here. That would have been really nice. But I mean, we still got a decent sell up here. You just have to kind of, I mean, you really want to find a floor. What I was thinking on this is it looks like it's finally starting to floor, right? It came down, it tested it, came down and it tested it again. So I was like, okay, it's probably showing a decent support. It's probably going to start getting bidded up again. Another very important thing. So what I'm doing right here is I'm also hiding these tokens. So you can see there's a hide button right here. I'm hiding all these trash tokens, and I highly recommend any of you guys do this, because you don't want to see this trash. Like even on Solana, right? It's super, you don't want to see these coins, right? If it's just like an obvious rug coin, just click hide token. That way, like, you know, let's say there's 10 tokens on your, you know, about to migrate tab, you can turn it down to like 2 tokens. so you only see 2 tokens that are decent, right? It's basically like uncluttering your mind. But yeah, basically, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of just like yapping a little bit, but I kind of want to show you guys or explain how. First of all, obviously, show you visually like how I trade, especially with like a small port, how I would run it up, but also like how I think, right? So I was looking at holders, making sure nothing looks kind of odd. I believe this comes up one more time, or maybe it just gets turbo nuked. I can't remember, but yeah, another thing which is really nice is you can see the DEX at the bottom right. It will show you if DEX is paid or not on Viper. So after this trading session, I believe I made like $50 or $60 in like claimable BNB rewards. So it's really cool because you can, not only claim rewards in Solana, just like on Axiom, right? So with Viper, it's like the highest rate. So I believe it's like 40 or 45% that you get back on your fees. But the same goes with, this looks like a crazy dip. So I believe I bought the bottom. So double bought. You just have to be careful because like people, like, look at that. Like that's what happens. Like people just turbo dump with 1 or 2 BNB sells. So yeah, it would have been insanely nice if I got bottom filled out there, like at 8 or 90K. I really thought I genuinely thought I got the bottom, which maybe on Solana, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like on Solana, I feel like that would have been the bottom, but on BNB, people trade a lot different, right? It's a completely different trading style, which is like, it is nice for scalping, but I feel like it rewards people a lot more for holding compared to Solana, right? Solana, nobody holds anymore. And like most coins aren't even like communities anymore. It's basically just PvPing runners, hype that just dies within the next day, and then they're always on to the next coin. Which I think that's kind of what's cooked the trenches a little bit. So like what we need to happen, I think, like another thing too, just to kind of like yap a little bit more, I think what would really revive the trenches is the pump fund airdrop. And my thesis to that is, first of all, everybody, like a lot of people are tired, right? Because either they lose money, like most people don't make money trading, right? Most people don't like just keep losing, right? And I lost for a while when I was learning as well, right? But the thing is, like pump fund makes so much money off of fees and revenue and everything. So if they're able to put some of their revenue or profits back into the ecosystem, think about it. Like if like say I have $2 or $5 million in volume, right? And I get 5K airdrop, 10K airdrop, right? And think about all the other people that have traded a bunch on pump fund. Pump fund basically just means trading Solana coins, because most of the coins we trade are through pump fund. So you just get routed through pump fund from Axiom or Viper or whatever platform, right? But it would add so much liquidity, right? It would add so much fuel, so much more Solana back into the trenches, right? And it would help them in the long run, in my opinion, because I mean more people. I mean people they would basically get their money back at the end of the day, in my opinion, right? Because people would be trading that money. I mean, most people. I mean, yeah, people are going to probably sell their airdrop, but they're going to sell it into Solana, and then they're going to buy tokens on pump fund, right? They're going to trade with it. So, and I think that would be great for the trenches, right? And I'm not saying that it's, you can't make money now. Obviously you can. You're going to see in this video what we end up with at the end. But I'm just saying, like, yes, it's a little bit harder. So I completely understand. But if you're able to get that edge, right? Thing is, you're competing with like people that have been doing this for like months and months, up to a couple years, right? So that have been either trading on ETH, BNB, Sol, Tron, all these different chains. Like, they know what they're doing. Back at the end of the year or early of this year, there was so much newer people. You can say retail or exit liquidity. So it was obviously a lot easier, right? But and I guess there's other factors. Obviously the market has gone dumped super hard. Like Solana got cooked, Bitcoin, everything just dumped, right? So that's another thing that's important. You could see it's been probably what, 5 minutes, and I'm still holding this. So I think like the one thing you have to learn is also patience on BNB, because on Solana, this would already be at 0, right? Like this literally would be at 0, and there would already be another coin. So with BNB, typically, I mean, you just have to be more patient with stuff, because sometimes it does just slow cook, or when it starts to floor out like this, it can, you know, someone blasts 2 BNB, 3 BNB, and then you can clip that. For me, I just have I'm hovering over the 100% sell. Just, I mean, obviously, it just, I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for me, like as like a scalper, I like to see strength when the coin's going up. This is just sitting literally just like, you know, up, down, up, like just consolidating like this, right? And my thesis on consolidating for any coin, so now it's finally starting to break a little bit, but my thesis for like consolidating is like, oh, well, what are people thinking? What are other people thinking? You put yourself in the shoes of other traders. Well, they're going to start getting scared, right? They're going to start getting impatient, and they're going to want to sell. That's how I think. So that's why I'm like getting ready to sell. If this starts breaking through, you know, like some important levels, breaking below like 100K again, then I'm probably going to clip out. And yeah, like you just have to, that's how you have to go in with every trade. So I just sold this for like a tiny loss. I can't remember exactly if it just went back up or not, but yeah, this is basically what you have to do. You have to sit and be patient and just wait for plays to come. But yeah, and then I'm going to get back onto the next trade that I took. All right, here's the next trade I took. Crooked neck. I can't even remember what this is about. I'll have to double check, but basically it came down a good amount, so I'm like checking out what it was. Looked like it just was some random meme, right? So it was on a good dip, so I was trying to time the bottom. You could see, I mean, I basically got the bottom, so that was a nice scalp. That's the reason why I like the slow. That's like the only way I like the slow transaction. So we made like 50 on that. But you know what I'm saying? Like I got filled at the Pico top just because of the tiny delay in the transaction. So, but it can also be against you when you try to sell, and you know, like it, like say the price is nuking. So we're up what, like 116.94. So nothing crazy. So the wallet balance is at 310. So okay, I'm guessing we started with like $200. So it's like 0.1 something BNB, which is crazy to think about how BNB is like 1K. It peaked at like 1.3K. So I'm just looking through trades. But yeah, I'll fast forward to the next trade that I took as well. All right, so this next trade is Kubo. So I started seeing it was dumping a little bit. It was mentioned in a lot of groups, so it looked like it was about a tweet. So I just kind of bid it a little bit. I was ready to DCA just in case if it did go a little bit lower. It looked like it was just another meme, but I don't know. I just saw it was mentioned in some other groups. So it was mentioned in Prosperity, Pastel, as well as Potion, I believe. So I kind of was just trying to take a little scalp on this one. You know, nothing too crazy. You know, it's just like, it's so weird just thinking like how, like, it's just this, how like slow things move a little bit. But you just have to be patient with these. And yeah, I mean, that's just how BNB is, right? So we just took a tiny scalp, made around what, 20. And yeah, like, I think that's like the most important thing. Dang, that thing got like Drake candled. So I should have bought the bottom. That would have been crazy. But you also have to be careful with catching falling knives. If a coin is obviously downtrending and it's not like an actual dip, then it basically the odds are against you, in my opinion. So you really have to be careful with stuff like that. So with this, I'm like just looking if it gets like if I can find a nice entry, I'll probably try to get in and scalp really quick. And you can obviously see as well. So now that we have the balance at 0.26, I'm going in with a little bit more size, which, I mean, I don't recommend most of the time if you're, you know, really new, but like say if I'm doing like a 0.1 challenge, right? 0.1 soul challenge, I'm basically going to full port every trade till I get to like 2 soul. So this looked like a crazy entry. And like, see if I got a good fill. I got the worst fill. Okay, yeah, I was actually mad about that. I was actually so mad about that. So that's the one thing that sucks. You know, like you can see me moving my mouse around. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So like that's the one thing that does suck is like if I would have gotten bottom filled at 50K, I would be up a decent percent right now. And now I'm kind of just stuck in this trade, right? So I obviously put in more that I was like comfortable with, right? So like I basically full ported this for like with what I had in the balance. So like now I'm like, you know what I'm saying? If you're able to sit comfortable in an entry, right? Like that's what I was trying to do, but I just got a really bad fill, which sometimes just happens. But you know, you're gonna be a little bit on your like on the edge on like not comfortable in your trade. If you're able to get in a nice cozy entry, you're fine, you know, waiting for the price action to work itself out and get a nice candle. So I'm just trying to remember. I think I actually might have made money on this one. We'll have to see. But you can see obviously like just the price going down a little bit. We're already down $40. And I usually do price things in Solana or like, you know, but with BNB it's like so like one BNB is like 1.3K, so I just have it priced in dollars to remind me what it is, because if it's like 0.2 BNB, that just feels like nothing, right? So looks like we got a couple tiny buys. So we're only up we're at basically break even because we did lose a little bit before, so we actually made it out with a little bit of profit, right? Because we try to double buy the bottom. So here's another token I was looking at, Crooked Neck, and let's see here. So you could see those candles just look cooked. That's what happened. I mean, obviously that looks like bundled candles as well. Another thing it probably is just big clips, 2 BNB at a time, 3 BNB at a time. And then this, we're just going for kind of like a tiny scalp if we can get one. But yeah, like it's just, I don't know, the chain just is different, right? Like how the transactions go through is just a little bit slower. So I'm just waiting for something. And I mean, I just took what I could get with that one and slowly building it up, right? We're almost at 0.3 BNB. So, you know, you just keep building it up consistently. We're not going for like crazy 50Xs or anything. So now we're at like 360 on the balance. We're up 189. And, you know, this whole footage is about an hour long. So nothing crazy, right? But if you think about that compared to like working at, let's say, McDonald's, right? Like 12 an hour, I would say like that's a decent hour. 189, right? But yeah, like there's so many different ways to make money in crypto, right? And especially in meme coins, right? Solana, BNB, trenches, also with perpetuals, right? So if you guys are interested in learning, of course, we do have a VIP section in my server, where I teach, and we also have like a bunch of course videos and everything else. We put out calls in there. So if you guys are interested in that, feel free to join. The Discord is free, so you don't have to worry about that. But we do have the VIP section as well if you guys are interested. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to plug that in, just a note, because I do have a lot of people that ask about that. So this other coin, I'm just kind of trying to just scalp as much as I can out of this. The one thing, it is kind of downtrending, so there's not really the best reasoning. The reason why I keep double dipping into some of these coins is because like there's really not that much else that was running. And the same goes for like Solana trenches, right? Sometimes the best thing to do is just sit on your hands and wait, and just be patient, right? Because, I mean, you know, it can actually go in your favor, right? Because you'll end up just losing money on trash coins if you just trade when you're bored, right? I call it over trading. So, you know, I would obviously be careful for that. But another really important thing that I would say too for trading is learning, trading with the community, right? This is like one of the most important things in my opinion. Obviously this was solo trading, right? I literally just like got back home, opened up the computer, and then just started recording, right? And I was gonna record but I was gonna record it like with audio as well, but I just thought it was gonna be weird, just like having like a fat pause just like while I'm in a trade, just like, I don't know. But I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing, just kind of yapping, waiting for it to play out. But you can see this thing is just getting like no motion. So I'm just waiting for something. Do you know what I'm saying? But the transactions the coin basically just seems dead, right? So when it does this, the best thing usually to do is just to cut the loss or sell it break even or just sell what it's at. And yeah, just don't touch the coin ever again, right? So I just take that. Kind of got lucky there. I didn't really think it was gonna. It literally looked dead to me. But yeah, it looks like we made 99 on that total just from scalping it, right? So we're already almost at 0.3. We're at 0.29. So yeah, I'll fast forward to the next trade. All right, here's this next coin. It's called GeckoBit, or GeckoBit, my bad. But it was getting a lot of volume. So this one, when I was like, all right, maybe I'll try to squeeze in the volume. But these candles were just really, you know what I'm saying? It looked pretty bundled. You know, and as fast as it was going up, it was basically going down. So it's kind of just trying to scalp a little bit. You have to be in and out of these usually really quick. Because yeah, it literally can just turbo nuke on you. And I would not size in too heavy on this one. I cannot remember if I full ported this or not. Because I have been full porting a lot of trades to try to build up the port quickly. But yeah, I'm just like, the most important thing is just seeing if this holds this level. Because if it doesn't, it's probably just going to go to zero. So kind of just watching, waiting. And you could see how bad that fill was. I was actually tweaking out when that happened. I don't know how that happened, but you could see I pushed sell when I would have made what, like 20-30% on that, but ended up selling for like 8% profit, which was just cooked, right? But that's just the one thing, right? You have to account for fees when you're going a tiny, like a mini port, like 0.1 or 0.2. The fees are gonna really eat you up. I'm sure you guys know this. Even with Solana, the fees can sometimes, you know, eat a little bit. So like I have the fees relatively low on this. I think it was like 1.15 Gwei, which is really not that much. Here's another coin. The same coin. It just was dumping super hard. So good thing is I did get out. I just was kind of mad where my sell went through. And then obviously 30K would have been a really nice entry on this again. And yeah, kind of just scanning through coins. There really wasn't too much crazy, so you kind of just have to sit and wait for something to kind of pop up. But yeah, it looks like I'm trying to like maybe bid this again, and we'll see. Crazy wick right there, holy moly. Yeah, I'll fast forward to the next trade. All right, so I bought the bottom again on this GeckoBit coin. I believe it actually was the final bottom, at least of just the complete nuke. So I'm just waiting for like a nice juicy 0.5 buy or one BNB buy, and yeah, just waiting to take that, and obviously hopefully get a good sell, and kind of just waiting. Yeah. So got some nice buys. And then I see that Prosperity mentioned it, so that gave me a little bit more confidence in holding it, because, you know, if it's a bigger group that's talking about it, you know, it just, I guess, gives you more confidence. And you could see I absolutely got fried on that sell. Like that should be illegal, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, that is actually disgusting too. Bro, I don't know how, like, cry emoji. Yeah, I was tweaking out. So it's just like, obviously I didn't have my mic turned on, but this is kind of how I felt when that happened. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like that shit was good. We would have easily been at like 0.33 or something. We would have actually cooked on that. But yeah, that's like the only thing that I hate about BNB is sometimes like the fills. So now we're at 227. Like I said, we're not even at a full hour yet. I've been cut, obviously, I'm trying to save a little bit of time, but so I've been cutting out like just only the parts that I'm doing the trades. But I'm just looking through some of the trades. Yeah, so 227 within, what are we at right now? Around 40 minutes. So that's really not too bad at all. And yeah, let's fast forward to the next trade. All right, so on the same coin, we basically bought back in at the bottom at around 20K. And these candles just get so nasty. You know, it's really nice when people blast in like 1 or 2 BNB, but you know, it can really be unpleasing, I guess is the word. So nice candle when you don't get a good fill. So we almost got the top, but we made like 42 bucks scalping it. So not too bad, right? We're at 0.31. So we're slowly building it up. And yeah, I mean, this is like the most important thing that I'm going to be saying is you have to prevent your risk of ruin, right? Because yes, I show you guys like that this is a consistent strategy. You know, yes, I'm showing you trades that I didn't do well on, but the most important thing at the end of the day is learning how to not blow your whole port in one trade, right? So by the time you get to 1 BNB, you should be trading with like 0.1 or 0.25 BNB per trade and minimizing taking those 50% L's, 60% L's, or like, you know, 90% L's, right? So obviously avoid buying those super obvious rug coins and avoid just buying pure trash, right? And like obviously hide the tokens and stuff, because what I mean by risk of ruin is like, you know, you don't want it to all blow up in your face. You don't want to be buying a token. You know, you don't want to be trading, finally running it up. Like say you're up $600 on the day, and then you full port some trash token, and it just all blows up on you, right? You lose everything. So I think my Wi-Fi was actually tweaking out right here. So I'll fast forward to that. But yeah, basically that's kind of it, I believe. Let me fast forward. I believe I go through exactly how much we're up. Let me see if I took any other trades. Okay, we took... No, oh yeah, I was watching this coin just go absolutely insane. And I had a crazy low entry on this, which was kind of cooked. Yeah, so it was at 200K. Let me see where my entry was. Must have been at like 60K or something like that. But yeah, this thing was just absolutely flying. So okay, we bidded the bottom again on this. Again, that's kind of crazy, but yeah, and then I'll fast forward. Nothing too crazy. And yeah, it took a tiny scalp on that. So we ended up with the day, or at least the hour, right? Just the hour of trading with 255. Nothing crazy, right? Now, obviously, like I usually normally trade with bigger amounts. So like when I'm trading on Sol, I trade with like 1 to 2 Sol per trade. But like, yeah, with this, I'm kind of, the whole point of this, I'm actually probably going to title the video like how to grow a small portfolio or something like that, because in my opinion, I would consider 0.1 BNB small portfolio. Let's see what we started with. Literally 0.1. So we are 0.1 plus what, 0.15 or 0.1 something. And we ended up with 0.31. So consistency is the most important thing, in my opinion. If you're going to be aiming for these crazy like 5,000 X's and whatever, you should just go to the casino, right? Now, obviously, if you already have a big port, then yes, it's fine to like kind of like, you know, test your chances or something with going for crazy multis, or it's fine to round trip, right? Because you already have the money. I think the most important thing when growing a small portfolio is really just consistency, right? And, you know, taking small, consistent wins. Yes, it's nice to see on Twitter, right? Like Cupsy blasting, you know, 10 Sol at like a 5K market cap coin and, you know, just like nuking it at 12K, right? But I feel like realistically, if you want a very consistent strategy, this is what I personally teach. This is what I personally show you guys. And, you know, this is what personally works for me, right? Now, obviously, I do bigger amounts normally. I'll do, you know, if it's going to be on Solana, it's usually 2 Solana per trade. If it's going to be on BNB, probably like 0.25 Solana, or sorry, 0.25 BNB, or 0.5 BNB. Sometimes if it's crazy, I'll throw in 1 BNB. But yeah, and you can make way more, right? And this is in the span of 1 hour. This isn't even a whole day, right? So all you need to do is really, if you guys want to make 100K a year, you just need to make 1 Solana a day. If you think about it in Solana or BNB, right, it's going to be way, way, way more easier to achieve that, in my opinion. So that's kind of what I wanted to do with this video. I wanted to show you guys, you know, kind of just the raw footage of everything. Yes, I trimmed it up so I didn't have to, or fast forward, I guess, because some of it's just me like just scanning and it's just boring, right? So this video is already 40 minutes long, so still kind of long in itself. I guess we saved us 20 minutes in itself, but yeah, that's completely fine. So if you guys don't, you know, have a community, I highly recommend joining ours. I have a free Discord. We have over 11,000 people in it. So if you guys want to lock in, I highly recommend. If you guys are new or advanced, and you guys want to learn or, you know, build connections, have a good community, I highly recommend joining the Discord. It's free. Yes, I do have a VIP section as well. If you're interested, it's literally like the price of lunch money for the week. And the amount of value you get in there is absolutely insane. And yeah, another thing as well, I would highly recommend trying out Viper if you haven't already. I do know a lot of people that trade on GMGN that have moved over to Viper and Padre, right? So I would recommend those two over GMGN. Sometimes GMGN actually is really smooth though, so it is really just personal preference, right? Those are the 3 options that I would recommend. Currently, I don't believe Axiom does support BNB tokens. So what's really nice is with Viper, you can trade all the chains on one application. But yeah, a little bit of a longer video. If you guys stayed till the end of the video, I appreciate it. I love you guys all. And yeah, thank you for watching.